Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Oh man, there's a lot we could talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5.
Oh God!
But quite frankly, I don't even have the time to be able to go into everything wrong with Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, which would start off as one of my favorite series, and then it did stuff. So let's catch people up to speed, because I really want to just talk about Yuto. But we have to understand who Yuto is a little bit first before I just go into it, for people who kind of, or maybe just don't know anything about Arc 5. So let's get into it. First, Yuya Sakaki is our main protagonist. He has 3 counterparts from 3 different dimensions: Yuri from the Fusion Dimension, Yugo from the Synchro Dimension, and Yuto from the XYZ Dimension. Each of those dimensions specialize in the namesake of the dimension. So of course, Fusion Dimension, Fusion, Synchro Dimension, Synchro, XYZ Dimension, XYZ. Good, now you're all caught up. So now let's go talk about Yuto, who is considered a pretty strong duelist in his dimension. And my question is, how? Okay, you're probably wondering, okay, is he a bad duelist or something? No. Yuto is a pretty competent duelist. We've seen this throughout the series, or I should say maybe like 2-3 duels. He wasn't really in a lot of duels, but he's shown himself to be pretty competent. No, the problem is mainly with his ace monster, his Dimension Dragon, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. I know some of you are probably like, oh goodness, this is going to be one of those things where Dark Rebellion doesn't have multiple effects like the other dragons. Wrong, that's not the issue here, even though it could have helped if it had multiple effects. But let's just get down to it. I mean, it's a generic rank 4 XYZ monster that can have the attack of a monster and gain it permanently. That's not bad at all. In terms of anime standard ace monsters, that's pretty good, right? And that card kind of received some gameplay when it first came out as well. I mean, it's the kind of monster you're not going to beat over in terms of battle, so you kind of have to get rid of it with an effect. It's not a bad card at all, and if you're not ready for it, it can pretty much just defeat you. And in terms of the anime, it's a pretty strong effect. The thing is, it's different in the anime than it is in real life. You see, in real life, you remove 2 materials, and then you half an opponent's monster's attack, and then you gain that attack permanently. You see, in the anime, it doesn't work quite like that. See, you remove a material, a single material, which is great, then you half a monster's attack points, and then you gain it until the end of the turn. That's not the bad part at all. In fact, that's the part that makes this card incredible in the anime. You see, it's not once per turn to be able to use Dark Rebellion's effect in the anime, which means if it uses this effect twice on any monster with 3,000 or more attack points, you're instantly inflicting 4,000 or more damage. This card is an OTK machine in the anime. So you're probably wondering, okay, this monster may have a different effect in the anime, so why are you saying it's not a good ace monster? Well, because there's another part of the effect that we have to go over. So let me just read this as it states here from the anime. Just give me one moment. You can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, then target 1 level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls. Do I have to read further? That first line is the problem. Let's just go over it. This is the issue with Yuto specifically in his dimension. Yuto is considered a strong duelist in the XYZ dimension. The dimension where everybody's using XYZ monsters. That's the main form of play within that dimension. I know some of you are going to go in the comment section, whoa, Oscar/Alexis use ritual monsters in the Fusion Dimension, so it doesn't mean everybody has to use XYZ monsters. That's probably true. That was her being more rebellious, but for the most part, from what we've seen from anybody in the Resistance, they're all using XYZ monsters. Get with the program here. And that seems to be the problem. For those who don't know, XYZ monsters don't have levels. Let that sink in. Just let it sink in. You see the issue now? Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon doesn't work against the ace monsters or those powerful monsters of anybody in his own dimension. How is he considered a strong duelist? He can't use this effect on anybody's XYZ monster's effect. It's essentially a normal monster. He would be better off if his ace monster was Gem Knight Pearl while he's in the XYZ dimension. Yeah, I mean, it has a nice evolution and sort, but we've only seen that card maybe like one time, and for the most part, the U-Boys kind of just use their base form dragons. And in terms of dimension dragons, his is the worst for his own dimension. It literally is only good against every other dimension which uses level monsters, which is why Yuya was able to dominate quite a few opponents with Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. But in terms of his own dimension, Yuto should not be considered a strong duelist. Sure, he's pretty competent and he still has the Phantom Knights, which have a good array of trap cards and spamming effects. He can't rely on his ace monster the way Yugo or Yuri could. Those monsters work perfectly well within their own dimension. Clear Wing Synchro Dragon? perfect. It works in this dimension. It's a level 5 or higher monster, so if you try to target it, it can use the effect. Most synchro monsters are level 5 or higher, so it has the effect to negate and then gain the attack points and destroy that monster. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, a lot of strong generic effects, totally works out. But Dark Rebellion XD's Dragon is usually just good against any other dimension. It doesn't really stand a chance within its own dimension, which begs the question, how is Yuto in any way, shape, or form considered a strong duelist within his own dimension? Yes, he is considered a relatively strong duelist with his own dimension. Like, what did he do? Like he summoned Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, and I was like, well, it has 2,500. Did he just use like Phantom Knight cards on it and then make it a little bit stronger? It was essentially a normal monster. Now, yes, he probably could use the effect on a level 5 or higher monster. Maybe they left on the field. But if you know who Yuto is, you're not leaving a level 5 or higher monster in the field. Just going to exceed monsters whenever you can. His top card can't do anything against them. So it's very, very strange. And I feel this is very, very overlooked. I really like Yuto, and Dark Rebellion is probably my fave of the Dimension Dragons. But I find it so weird how his ace monster, his Dimension Dragon, is totally useless within its own dimension. It probably should have just been like the real life version because it works on any monster, but the anime specific version is incredibly weird. It totally only works when Yuto has to go through dimensions to go against other duelists, or it has to work in the hands of Yuya, who's going to go against opponents that are going to have monsters with levels. He's not going to only go against opponents that have exceed monsters, so of course it works really, really well with Yuya down the road. Let me know what you guys think. I had fun making this video. I really want to talk about it because I don't think anybody ever brought it up before. And I plan to definitely do some more videos like this in the future. And they don't all have to be negative. If you have any ideas of what I should do, then let me know. I'll probably look into it and say, hey, you know what? That actually might be a good idea for a video. And let me know if you guys agree with what I said. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, people, peace out.